Yugioh Sevens is not the face of this new generation in Yu-Gi-Oh! Wait. What are you talking about, Dibsy? Yuga Oudou is not the face of this Yu-Gi-Oh! Generation. Let me explain. Let's talk about the anime and the TCG. The TCG meaning the trading card game. OCG in Japan, but because I'm not from Japan, TCG. TCG is the easiest, so let's start with that. With the trading card game, every single time a new mechanic is introduced, we have a new master rule. Now, let me rewind for a bit. This is the first time. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is the first time since Yu-Gi-Oh! GX that a new mechanic was not introduced. What do I mean? In Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Gs, we had synchros. In Zexal, we had Xyz, pendulums in Arc 5, and of course, link monsters in Vrains. And with each introduction of a new mechanic, a new card monster type or card type, we had a new master rule. What is a master rule? Master rules are a school of rules which are abided by in order to play the game. They are the Bible of rules that you go to when playing the game, while playing the game, and with the mechanic that is introduced from the upcoming series. So let's say from 5Ds, there is an update to those master rules. Currently, as of January 2020, we are on master rule 4. However, there's going to be a master rule updated. People are calling it the unofficial master rule 5, but it's not. As of April the 1st, 2020. Master Rule 3, Master Rule 4, the game was flourishing with synchros and Xyz and links. It was balanced. There was a massive change from Master Rule 4 from Master Rule 3. But the point being is that we are kind of reverting back to a Master Rule 3 kind of game with inclusion of links and pendulum. I don't want to go too in depth into the Master Rules. There's a lot of other YouTubers, so please check them out. They'll talk about this in great detail. But the game hasn't changed in terms of the introduction of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Now, yes, it has changed, but the anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens has it has very minuscule impact on the trading card game. When links were introduced, the poster boy for links was Yusaku Fujiki, who was, of course, the main protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. And very similarly, when synchros were introduced, we had Yusei, we had Yuma for Xyz, and of course, Yuya for pendulums. Each and every single time we had the main protagonist of the latest series, the most relevant series for that mechanic being the poster boy to sell that merchandise. What is Yuga going to be the poster boy of? Honestly, Yuga Oudou is nothing to the TCG players. No one cares about Yuga Oudou. Honestly, he has no impact on the player base and how they view the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Now, I want to make one thing clear. I play both the trading card game quite competitively, and I'm an avid viewer of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. There is very little, unless you're the exception, well done to that, there's very little crossover between Yu-Gi-Oh! Players and Yu-Gi-Oh! Viewers of the anime. There's very little crossover, and that's a massive shame. Honestly, that is a massive shame. But because there was a new mechanic introduced, for the past almost decade, we always associated the new protagonist, even if it's subconscious or just generally with that mechanic. We knew because they were advertised, they were the poster child, but Yuga is not a poster child for anything. He doesn't need to be for anything regarding the main game in the TCG. What he is a poster boy for is Rush Duels. However, Rush Duels is a completely different card game altogether. Yes, they take and they use the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, but very similar to Speed Duels, as it's a completely different game, and you can't use all of the Speed Duel cards in the main trading card game. Similarly, you can't use Rush Duel cards in the main trading card game. Rush Duels is its own entity, and that is what the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens anime is promoting. Now, Dimsy, I understand he's not, or nor is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens the poster boy in terms of the TCG, but how is he not the poster boy for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime? Well, kind of lied. He is, but he isn't. It is and it isn't. What do I mean by that? Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, in my opinion, is ushering a completely different era of Yu-Gi-Oh fans. They're trying to capture a different audience, as you can see from the artwork, from the art style, more correctly to say, as well as the fact that this is the youngest protagonist that we've ever seen at the age of 11. That is insanely young. So it's obvious what they're trying to do, and I commend them for trying to do that. I've done a video going in depth regarding my views and opinions of Yugioh Sevens, but they're trying to recapture a younger audience to kind of rope them in to watching this series and also promote Rush Duels. Where I think this is very important to highlight is that, as I said earlier, there has never ever been a larger divide, a larger gap between the Yu-Gi-Oh anime and the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. The trading card game is not beginner friendly. It is not at all. And I think they've come to encourage and understand that, okay, it's not the same. Nor is it able to be beginner friendly. So let's just promote this as its own entity and let's start anew. Let's give the beginners a new card game to check out. It's not friendly for young boys or girls who are trying to get into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's give them a new way to get into the franchise of Yu-Gi-Oh! And sell them toys ultimately. So you had that with Speed Duels to make it a more simplified version. Now with Rage Duels, which is going to also have its own line of cards being released specifically for that. So it's obvious what they're trying to do. And Konami, what they're doing is that they identified that, okay, each game is pretty much specific to a certain age group and above. So why don't we have different markets and we just target these markets separately via Speed Duels, the games, the trading card game, or even Rush Duels. So that's exactly what they're trying to do. So what do I mean by he is and he isn't? Yuga Oudou is the poster boy for Yugioh Sevens, and Yugioh Sevens is the poster boy for this new generation of Yu-Gi-Oh fans that are being ushered in. That's kind of a cop-out to say, because you could say that for any protagonist, it's for the new fans, However, there was always, apart from Zexal, I would say, every fourth series there tends to be a replenish of the target audience, but there's always been a kind of connective tissue between the older fans and the newer fans who are going to watch this new series. And Yu-Gi-Oh is going the Digimon route. The Digimon route in terms of, okay, they know that Digimon Adventure, the original Digimon, was the most popular. Hey, you know what? Let's just make a completely different show and capture a completely different audience, because obviously the guys and girls who are born post 2000, 2005, 2010, they're not going to remember the original Digimon since it wasn't airing at the time of their birth or they weren't born yet. So very similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, let's make something which they can grow up on and they can look back with nostalgia, because to be honest, we can't look back at Sevens or whatever with nostalgia, maybe in 20, 30 years, but not anytime soon. We are already grown. We're already grown. So we can't recapture that magical moment of growing up watching an anime for the first, second or third time, or it being the gateway anime to usher you into watching a plethora of different anime and shows, or kind of encouraging a certain way of thinking. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is not the poster boy for the trading card game generation, nor is it the poster boy for the anime fans who grew up on the old school or the mid-school Yu-Gi-Oh! It is a face for the new generation for Rush Duels. Check out the other videos. I've done a few videos regarding is Yu-Gi-Oh! Dead, what killed Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's many more to come. With that being said, make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe. With your dual disc, you may now exit Dimsy's domain. Thank you and goodbye.